Hi, and so we're going to go ahead and get started because we don't want to miss out on anything. 50 minutes goes really fast when you're having fun. If everyone can check out my fancy new necklace I got, just want everyone to see it. I wore it especially for this occasion. Please give me a thumbs up if you think this is fabulous. I'll take no thumbs down. Thank you. So what I want to do, oh, thank you, my fancy necklace. So what I want to do real quick is because there's so many of you here, it's 71 people here. And usually if I were in person, I would have people talking and up and engage. But since we're here on this platform, I want everyone to do me a favor and go ahead to the upper box in the corner of your screen.
Are you still trying to log in?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I just changed
okay.
my email to the website.
Okay, someone? Okay. The upper box of your screen where it says rename.
Can't hear.
You're muted.
Okay, there we go. Did everyone, okay, I'll do the instructions again. Go ahead to your upper right corner of your screen and type in where you're from. Click on rename and then type in where you're from so I can see, and I'm gonna start. I'm from Detroit. There we are. So I should start see, oh, I see some people.
Where you from or where you work at? Like, does it matter?
No, where you're from, what city you are in currently, right now, right here, right now.
Oh, well, that's not true then.
You can go ahead and change it. Okay. Wow, look at that. San Francisco. I was supposed to go to San Francisco for a conference, but due to the current state, that was gonna be my first time. So I'll hit you up next time I go. Let's see, where else? Middletown, Delaware. I've never been there before. Sir Metro Detroit. That's one of my team members. Hey, I don't know who that is, but hello. Phoenix, I've been there. I've never been to Washington State. That's another one of my places I need to go. Let's see. Where else are you guys from? Portland, Reno, Spokane, Washington, DC. I love DC. I've been there several times. Virginia, Boston. I used to live in Boston. My parents live in Nashville, so that's a great place. Detroit. Wow, okay, I see you guys are from all over. This is awesome. Atlanta. Hey, what's up, Atlanta? So if you can go ahead and you can change your name back to whatever you want it to be. It could be your nickname, it could be the organization that you represent. That may be good. And I'll go ahead and put my nickname. Awesome. So I just wanted to welcome everybody. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you'll have a slideshow presentation. It's going to be kind of interactive. So just a brief introduction. My name is Nuns Wakazi Hill, and like I said, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. And here we go. Let me share this with you all. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and the session that you're attending today is Integrated Model Strategies for Outreach and Recruitment. And we're going to touch upon some great outreach and recruitment tips, and then we're going to touch upon how it is important that you have these integrated models in order to achieve like ultimate programming within your organizations and youth services. I work with youth. I don't work in the adult services. However, I do have some experience in adult, but the majority of my career has been working with young people for 15 plus years. So with that in mind, a little bit about our organization. I am, like I said, I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and the name of our organization is called SARE Metro Detroit, and we are located nationwide in Chicago, we are in Texas, and our main hub is here in Detroit. And I manage one of our youth career centers, which is on the east side of Detroit. And that is, if anybody isn't quite familiar, but that is a hub for high risk opportunity youth in that area. And we work with young people ages 16 to 24. And I manage the East Side Career Center. And then we also have one in Southwest Detroit. That's our main hub. In Southwest Detroit, we have young people from all backgrounds. It's a huge Latino community, a huge American community. So we service young people in that area, ages 16 to 24 as well.
I wanted you to put the change from there into the counter. Nope. Pendeja.
So, okay, we're gonna make sure everyone's on mute. Thank you. Make sure you keep yourselves muted. Our mission for at Sierra Metro Detroit, advancing people, growing businesses, and strengthening communities through education, employment, economic, and community development. So this is what we do as a whole for our organization, whether it be in youth or whether it be in adult services. So just to kind of touch upon like a little bit about the integrated model that we have at SARE, we have several programs that we are able to leverage in order to have a full array, a full holistic approach to serving young people. And I think that's why our model works, because we figured out that you just can't have one program, you gotta kind of have it all in order to have them stay engaged and to be successful in programming. So we do have 2 youth career centers, one on the east side and one on the west side, and we service about 500 young people between both of the centers. And within the youth career centers, we offer several different programs. So we have a GED program, and we have an alternative high school program. So alternative high school program focuses on young people ages 16 to 21, and the GED program is from 18 to 24. And with our GED program, it is broken into 2 areas, GED, and that's with our Youth Build USA program, and I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that. And then also with other private funding that we have, where we can just beeline young people straight through the GED program. And all of these services are for free. The young people don't have to pay for any of the tutoring services. They don't have to pay for any of the testing. And we also have a Earn and Learn. So no matter which track that you enter in upon entering into one of our programs, you are eligible for a stipend, depending on it doesn't matter which track, you're eligible for a stipend. So we do it more so like an incentive basis. So if you complete so many courses within the alternative high school, then you'll get a certain amount of money. If you complete if you complete a test with the GED program, since it's all online now, you receive a certain amount of money. And we also give incentives for attendance as well. So that is one of the main ways we're able to keep our young people engaged and with recruiting, but we'll talk about recruiting just a little bit later. And within our youth centers, youth career centers, we also have a child care center, and we call it the drop-in corner. So whether or not if you're a part of our program with the schools, or if you're just a participant in our all year round youth program and you're in the building and you're receiving services of any sorts, you can utilize our child care services all for free. And we have someone who is right there, and you just have to sign up, fill out a waiver of sorts, and you can spend the whole day there and have your child there taken care of for free. By the time the kids reach probably about 4 or 5, we do seek alternative. We help you to seek alternative services to get them enrolled in some type of childcare or some type of Head Start, whichever one, but it's 0 to 5 years old that we go to. So that's been kind of a win for us. We also have a program called the Department of Interior. We just got that grant, and we work with the National Park Services, where we're able to take young people who are interested in that line of work They are paid for those experiences, and they can work in the parks on path projects, building homes, whichever is available. Right now, things are just kind of a little tricky, and we have to go into next year because things happen. But that's one of our programs that we use as a recruitment strategy to get young people involved. Our Center for Work and Families that we also have, that is through our adult services program, but we refer young people who have families, because the reality is a lot of the young people that we service are either parents or pregnant, and they need help, and they need services that will assist them. They need all the other alternatives to housing, to resources for like childcare, for food stamps, for whatever it may be. We're there to help with electricity for home, anything that's working with the homes. And we work with the families individually, and they receive a case manager, and they help them navigate through that process, because some of those processes can be extremely grueling and intimidating. And we try to make it at minimal, we try to take on all the work for them, the paperwork, and so that they don't feel so intimidated. Because I know, but doing this program for so many years, I remember the young people used to have to come into our center, and they would have like a stack of paper this big, and they would have to fill out all these forms, and that's discouraging. So we, in our model, we set up an electronic version where basically we do a motivational interviewing where they don't even really know that they're coming in for this huge intake process. They come in and everything is electronic, and they sit down with someone who is trained, and they have conversations with them to answer these questions, but all in a motivational way where they're not feeling intimidated, and we're filling out paperwork, and it's all electronic, and they have one signature on a pad, and they're good to go. So that's one of our ways that we've integrated all of our programs into one model. And one huge, and I saw someone ask that in the chat before we started, how do we keep them engaged during the summer months when they're not in school, or how do we keep them engaged in the year-round youth program? We do have a partnership with the City of Detroit with Grow Detroit Young Talent, and it's a summer youth employment program where the city employs 8,000 young people within the City of Detroit. And it's kind of like a soft handoff. So when they're done in June, they go straight to July into that summer youth program, and we try to find partnerships where these young people can actually be hired on, so they're at a continuous of services. And then, of course, our year-round youth program, which I'm sure some of you have a lot of those in your states, that's WIOA. And we leverage the WIOA funding with all of our programs, so the young people can be provided supportive services. And that's a huge part of how we're able to be successful, is through those supportive service dollars. And the supportive services includes anything from helping with rent, helping with cars, helping with housing, helping with clothes, helping with food. And we have WIOA funding, and we also have like private funding. I suggest that if you're in any of these programs, to find ways to find some private funding, private grants, even if they're very little. Those little grants can stretch a long way if you get enough of them. They can stretch a long way. And we were able to, because of that funding, that we had that private funding, as soon as COVID-19 kind of hit the air, we were able to ship groceries out that same day, that same week, because we had private funding for the young people until the city kind of pulled together to provide those resources. We were able to do that right away, which was so helpful, so no one would go hungry. So I'm gonna pause there and just see if there's any questions right now. The time is going so quick already.
You have a few questions in the chat.
Okay. Should I switch over to the chat? Okay, let's see. Are you currently doing in-person services or online programming? So we are doing both. We open back up. It's official here in Detroit, so we're able to now see young people, but it's on an appointment basis. We don't really have many walk-ins, but we're still doing online services. We have programming that we've implemented. We have a programming team, and they offer programming where you can get incentives. What is the grant called for the internships? The internships, are you talking about for the Summer Youth Employment Program? That would be Grow Detroit Young Talent. Oh, okay, the summer, raise your hand or put your question in the chat. Okay. Do you support youth that are undocumented with work? Yes, we do. We are in the heart of Southwest Detroit, which we have a very high Latino community, and we work with them in all areas. That's one of the main missions of Sur Metro, is that we service those young people. And if we can't necessarily service them with the funding, we have tons and tons of resources that will. So we don't let anyone go out the door. We see everybody. Can you elaborate more on the Department of Interior grant? The Department of Interior grant is through National Park Services. And the National Park Services is a program which allows young people and veterans, so it can be anywhere from 16 to, I want to say, 84, whichever it is, but we're basically focusing on 16 to 24. And we identify them if they are interested in that type of work, working in parks, in reservations, and they could go in and they do cleanup projects, whatever projects that those parks have to offer. And we get the young people the workforce, the soft skills, those work readiness skills, and they have a supervisor who goes out there with them, an adult who is familiar with reservation services, and they go out and they do the projects, and they're paid for those projects, and they come back, and whether or not they're entering into a high school program or the GED program, they can do that in collaboration. Hey, Miriam. We also offer in-house and virtual orientation to help accommodate. Thanks, Miriam, for answering that. Go to Metro. Do you leverage any TANF funding? Are you using WHEEL funds to pay for the child care? No, we have private funding for that. How do you maintain fidelity to your mission and services with varied demands and multiple funding streams? Exactly. We have a database for that, and it's called FileMaker. And that we are able to filter all of because we have so many funding streams, we are able to filter all that through our data system. And we have a data expert, and that's not my lane, but shout out to my data expert, but she maintains all of that information. And that way we are able to basically meet the needs of all of the funders and the funding streams, because as you know, it is intense to be, if you have several funding streams, to know which one is which, what do you have to do for this? So that's a part of our model too. I think I've answered everything. And if not, I'm gonna come back. So let's move on. So this is just kind of a little dashboard of some of what youth services at a glance. And this was as of April 2020. So we found that with our integrated model that we always have a waiting list. And I remember when I first started working there, that was not the case. We were like searching for young people to come to our program. But once we integrated the model, once we started having a diverse funding pool, we were able to be a little bit more enticing and do more for our young people. So we found that we had a waiting list. So on the east side, as of April, the goal was 160, and we had 190, and we still had young people waiting, like I said. And then on the west side, the goal is 320, and we were at 321. So we don't really have any problems getting young people into our program. It's about keeping them engaged, if anything. And we keep them engaged through all of the things that we kind of talked about, through our collective impact with counseling services, with providing supportive services of sorts to meet all of the needs and demands that they have, and that works. So the slides are available if you want to see I did upload them so you can see our youth services at a glance, okay? So I do want to go to the next slide, let's see. There we go. So here I just wanted to kind of give you all a glimpse of what our Southwest Side Youth Center looks like. And this is some of our team members that are on here right now. Shout out to my tribe. And they're here on this video. And this was all youth led. And so just go ahead and take a look.
We're not seeing the video yet.
Yeah, it's still streaming up. Here it comes.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Sorry, guys. There you go. There we go.
You want to send me the link and I can try streaming it?
This is all of us utilizing our best qualities in the work we do called patience.
Yeah, thanks everyone for your patience. We're just working this out.
Okay, so I felt like a big idiot. Like, so there was no video this whole time, and I'm just sitting here watching it, like, hee 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 hee. And then I see the chat, and I hear people talking, like, no, okay, so I'll send you all the video. because it's a really, really, really cool video. And of course, it was a big part of my presentation. It was going to be so beautiful, and it worked. But no worries. Thank you. But I'll send it to everyone. I know. No worries. We can move on. So if we could go ahead, what I want to do, yep, I'll link it in the video chat. Oh, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Oh, so what I want to do, since it's so many of you, 95. Oh God, I'm gonna get a picture of this and share it with everybody. What I want to do is to go ahead and put you guys into some small groups, and if you could just talk about. Probably you got about 3:30. Probably you got about a good 8 minutes, I want to say, Isaac, if you can give them 8 minutes, just to kind of talk about some of your recruitment strategies that you have in mind now that we are into this virtual space. Because although I feel that we were the best on the board, we had it all covered in terms of recruitment, we even have to shift. So I'm going to be in somebody's breakout room as well. And I just want to kind of hear some of your strategies. And then you'll have maybe maybe two people can just kind of share some of the things that your teams have come up with to engage young people. So you can go ahead and just break them out now.
All right, everyone, here we go.
Welcome back, everybody. Oh, I get to see all of your beautiful faces now that you were in your rooms. You stayed on. You all are just, this is a fine group of people right here. Hey. So now that we're all back, and before I go into the next part of it, if there's anyone that wants to share, if there's anything that kind of stood out in terms of Joseph, in terms of the recruitment strategies, anything different that we're doing for the anything different that we're doing for recruiting young people into our programs, raise your hand and we'll give you a call. I'm gonna I don't mind picking on people, so I'll do a random. Oh, Brian. Hey, Brian.
So I just felt like I had to volunteer after I heard you were going to pick someone randomly.
Yes.
And I didn't want no one to feel the anxiety. So I helped you out there. So we were in a breakout room, and actually, Jinx and I had shared in that room how we had to capitalize now, more importantly, on the use of technology and social media, right? So we all weren't necessarily ready for what came out of COVID-19, and it was important for us to capitalize on the virtual platforms we can. So one thing that we're doing, we're looking into seeing how we can find the funding is geotag advertisement, right? So tagging geographical areas for advertisement using social network platforms. So that way your certain demographic or target population can receive recruitment or marketing material about our program. So we also shared, obviously, the use of our social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. So
Awesome. I like your shirt, Brian.
thank you.
You're welcome. Can we see the whole thing?
Yes.
Yes. We
And the
march.
last
Y'all
is-
mad. We sit down.
Y'all solid.
Hey, I love that.
That's awesome.
That is an
I just
awesome
put it in the
shirt.
chat, too.
That'll go with my
Awesome.
fancy necklace. You can just go ahead and send that to me.
You know, we're in DC, and we take to the streets around
That's
here. So
awesome.
Yeah.
We
so
also
people-
in our breakout, we also shared about social media. But the other thing that came up, I think it was Will out in Nashville. We talked about utilizing the food banks and sharing your flyers or information in through those avenues also. Unfortunately, because they're seeing an uptick of people, but you know, it's another way to get information out to families and students. And we also talked a lot about internal recruiting or reaching out outreach.
Thanks, Michelle. You're in Nashville? Is that where you say you're from?
No, I'm from Dayton, Ohio, at Sinclair
Oh.
Community College. But
Okay.
Will, who was in our group, he was
Okay.
talking from Nashville and he brought up the social media. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out. Let me get my screen share on. Okay. So I want to go ahead and dive into the recruitment part for the next 5 minutes, and then we'll play a little game because I love games and I know you all love prizes, and I have a prize for the winner. And then we have like 10 minutes left. Mwah. So our recruitment efforts, we have several ways that we've recruited in the past, and we're still going to use some of these things, but one of the main recruitment efforts that we have found the most successful is a street team, youth voice, period, point blank, as they say, period. That is the best way to get students through that door. Not only do we have a street team employed of young people who are alumni from the program, but we employ young people who are currently in the program, and they are the best mouthpiece as to what we do in our services. And whether it be we're out there, we've had young people go on the bus, take bus tickets, and talk to other young people. Think about when you were 18. If you're 18 in that range, where were you hanging out? you can't go to community events and that's not where young people are. So they know where they are, so they go to where they are and they feel comfortable to go where they are, because we are a big urban city, and we are in neighborhoods that that some people may not be so anxious to go into these neighborhoods, but our young people are not. They take our flyers, they take an adult, and that is how they hear about, that's how we are able to get young people through that door. Social media, we have flyers, the billboards, it just depends. But for the most part, our word of mouth referrals and our street team. Right here, I just wanted to show you some of our media outlets. If you want to screenshot this, or I do have the slides available. So here are some of our social media outlets that we use. And these are our real kids. These are our kids that we work with every day. And we don't take photo stock pictures. We get the real pictures of the real kids and get them to smile for the camera so we can promote our youth. So that we have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. We have all of the various avenues, and they're all youth pages. And the pages are also ran by a youth ambassador. So youth voice is very important. And if you're not doing that, that's the key. That is definitely the key. And I see my boy Brian shaking his head, yes. So I know we're on the same page. We also, for some of our tools for success, I was talking about like the buses, getting out there in the streets, the flyers, community events, and swag. Swag did not come until we started employing young people into our program. They're like, y'all need swag, y'all need hoodies, y'all need t-shirts, y'all need hats, y'all need to basically promote the Sarah Metro brand, and you need swag. So all of that is all of their voice. We have focus groups. We ask them what they want, and that's what we get. The newsletters are all made by young people, youth voice. Our flyers, these are all of our young people, our youth voice. So having them see it, you can't just put a whole bunch of big adults in a room and expect them to come up with youth programming. Yeah, we help, but you need the youth there to kind of facilitate that. Our newsletters, like I said, we have alumni from our program that we actually hire to work in our program, and they create the flyers, they create the newsletters. So here's just a few of our outreach flyers that in our newsletters that we have throughout the years. This was back in 2018. As you see, we do community events. See the swag, the hashtag props, those were all students. We have student of the month. All of that is youth-led, which helps us a lot. Here's there's me right in the center with the holding up the Detroit Youth sign. We went and fed the homeless one time, and we made lunch bags. We have an amazing programming team at Sarah Metro, and they put together all of our programs, and we go out into the community with the kids. We go with them, and we provide services in that area just to keep the kids engaged and motivated. And it also helps us create a buzz and helps us to recruit. So wherever we go, whatever we're doing, we're making sure that we take our brand out there and we take flyers, but we're also doing services with our young people for the community. So just some fun stuff that we did. And then it's game time. Woo-hoo. So let me stop sharing my screen. Now, throughout this whole thing, and let me go stop share because I need to see it in the chat. Okay, so get your fingers ready because this is going to be the first person who can put it in the chat. And I'm going to ask that my team from Detroit not participate. I love you guys, but please don't participate in this one. And I don't want any messages talking about why not? You win everything anyway. So during this presentation, can someone name one thing from our mission statement? One thing, it doesn't have to be the whole thing, but one thing from our mission statement of what we do. And the first person gets a prize. Hey, Will Smith, jeez, you're good. Where's Will? Where are you from? Go, Will. Will, if you could please drop your email address, and your prize will come in the form of email. Thank you, Will.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. And just so you guys know, whenever you're with young people, if you're facilitating or anything, do some fun things, do some games. They love that. Everyone, even if they're winning a cup, they like winning. They like the competition. It just feels differently. So that's always fun. Thank you for participating in that game. And with that in mind, we have about 3 minutes left, and I'm opening up for questions. I'm sorry, you did miss the game.
We won a second round.
You want a second round? I only have enough for just one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do we have any questions about anything? I'm going to send out the link.
You have a question from Tony Singleton on whether or not you work with students with disabilities and how you differentiate your recruitment for those students.
So of course, with WIOA funding, you have to, there's really, those are the ways you have to make those modifications. So whether you're servicing hard of hearing or deaf young people, we have to provide interpreters. We do it that way. A young lady in our program was legally blind, and she successfully graduated and went to college. We got her a scholarship, but we have case managers that work with them one-on-one. And if there's something that we can't do personally, we have tons of referral services that we can resource those people, the young people out to.
Do you have a successful alumni that you push out into the field? And CEOs of multi-million-dollar corporations would be very nice. In Detroit, maybe head of Ford or General Motors or something like that.
That graduated from our program?
Yes.
Not as of yet. However, we do have. If you could see the video, you would see a lot of our alumni in that video, telling some wonderful things that they're doing. But not as of yet. We're waiting on them.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Larry. What do we look for in youth ambassadors? Alumni. And we definitely don't just choose like the star players. We work with you. So I'm all about mentoring. I'm all about coaching. So however that we take you, if you have an interest, we're going to interview you and see how it works out. What is the ratio of kids per case manager? It depends on the program. For our Youth Rail program, that's a little lower. So we have one case manager to about 50 to 60 young people. But WIOA programming, it could be no more than 80, I want to say, for the case managers. But we also, fortunately, have programming teams that work with the young people too. So that helps. How are you keeping kids engaged while you're in quarantining? So one of the big things that we've been able to do is provide online programming with a stipend. So if they complete it, we found some online curriculum. We didn't try to reinvent the wheel with some of the things, and with the online curriculum and then some things that we have in-house, we were able to give them stipends to come and be engaged. And we harass them too. We call them a lot.
All right.
Awesome, will do. So with that inside, my time is up. And thank you so much for joining me. And I will send out the link to the video so you can see that. And I appreciate all of you for coming. Have a wonderful day, and maybe some of you will be at the happy hour. Yay.
Thanks so much for your presentation. Thanks everyone for joining. Like Nazwa said, there's a happy hour that you can all join in about 10 minutes. And drop any unanswered questions you had in the Q&A on her presentation in the agenda, and we'll be engaging there. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.